The story begins with Pete returning home after a long and exhausting day. He enters the house with excitement, eager to surprise his wife with something special. However, instead of appreciating him or even asking how his day went, his wife behaves with coldness and arrogance. She treats their relationship like a burden and sees him as someone beneath her standards. When Pete attempts to get close to her, she pushes him away with insults, saying her underwear alone costs more than his entire monthly salary. Her attitude reveals her growing dissatisfaction with their lifestyle, showing how little she values her husband. Pete tries to stay positive, insisting that things will soon get better, hinting that their financial problems may finally be over. Instead of supporting him or asking what changed, she mocks him again, jokingly asking if he robbed a bank. The emotional distance between them becomes painfully clear. While Pete still loves her deeply, she shows no respect, affection, or loyalty. Her shallow focus on money and luxury is a strong contrast to Pete's love and commitment. This tension sets the foundation for the chaos that is about to enter their home. Suddenly, everything changes when two dangerous criminals break into the house. One of them is carrying a gun, and the other is extremely aggressive. Pete is tied up and beaten as they demand the location of the gold he stole earlier. The criminals believe Pete is hiding a fortune that belongs to them. Terrified, Pete immediately tells them the gold is inside a suitcase. However, when they open it, the criminals find nothing valuable inside. This makes them furious, and they threaten to kill Pete and his wife. At this moment, the shocking truth comes out. Pete's wife confesses that she had secretly been cheating on him with another man. She admits that her lover must have taken the suitcase by mistake when he left the house after their affair. She apologizes in panic, but clearly, her concern is not for Pete, it's for herself. Her betrayal is exposed not through her guilt, but because she wants to save her own life. The criminals force her to go get the stolen gold back. The husband's heartbreak, shock, and humiliation unfold in front of dangerous strangers. This moment reveals both the danger Pete is in and how deeply he has been betrayed by the woman he trusted. The criminals force Pete's wife to accompany them to her lover's home. When she reaches there, she tries to act normal, pretending everything is fine. But internally she is panicking, knowing that lives depend on getting the gold back. She begs her lover to return the suitcase, explaining that it was taken by mistake. However, her lover acts cold, selfish, and dismissive. He refuses to give it back and pretends not to know what she is talking about. When she keeps insisting, he finally reveals his true intentions. He tells her that he opened the suitcase and considers its contents as payment for all the nights they spent together. His words expose the brutal reality. He never loved her and was only using her for pleasure and money. Instead of helping her, he mocks her and shuts the door in her face. The criminals see everything and conclude that Pete's wife has been playing with both men. She loses the respect of everyone around her, including the criminals who initially held her hostage. Her infidelity not only destroys Pete emotionally, but also places them all in life-threatening danger. Her secret life collapses right in front of her eyes. Back at home, Pete is left tied up with one of the criminals assigned to watch him. Pete cleverly asks for a glass of water, pretending to be weak and harmless. The guard, who seems less aggressive than his partner, agrees to give him water. During this moment, they unexpectedly begin talking about relationships. Pete is devastated about his wife's betrayal, and the guard confesses that his girlfriend also cheated on him long ago. The guard becomes emotional as he talks, lowering his guard. Pete uses this opportunity to escape. When the guard bends down, Pete manages to knock him unconscious, showing that he is not as helpless as he appears. The criminal's emotional vulnerability gives Pete the perfect chance to regain control. This scene adds depth to both characters. Pete is heartbroken yet sharp enough to escape, and the guard is a criminal who still carries wounds from his past. When the other criminal returns and finds the guard knocked out, he becomes furious. The situation escalates rapidly, creating chaos in the house. Pete's escape shows he's stronger than everyone assumed, and the betrayal he suffered ignites a new determination within him. When the criminals return with Pete's wife, they discover that Pete has escaped and the guard has been knocked unconscious. The leader becomes outraged and points a gun at Pete's wife, reminding everyone that she betrayed her husband just hours ago. Pete, although deeply hurt, does not want her to be killed. Yet, the criminal sees no reason to spare her. The tension builds as the criminal prepares to shoot. At the last moment, Pete fights back, showing courage and sharp thinking. He manages to overpower the criminal and take his gun. With the weapon in his hands, Pete finally takes control of the situation. The criminals, shocked by the sudden shift in power, realize they have no advantage left. Pete warns them that no one can walk into his home, threaten his life, or take what belongs to him. He forces the surviving criminal to leave with a warning: tell everyone not to mess with Pete again. Pete's transformation from a gentle husband to a strong, fearless man becomes evident. For the first time, he stands up for himself, not for his wife, but for his own dignity. His courage becomes the turning point of the entire story. After escaping danger and taking back control, Pete retrieves the real gold. He realizes that the chaos, the betrayal, and the near-death experience have opened his eyes. The wife who once mocked him, humiliated him, and cheated on him is now begging him to stay. She thinks they will become rich together, like Bonnie and Clyde. But Pete refuses to fall for her manipulation again. He calmly tells her that he is rich now, not they. He says everything that happened was because of her unfaithfulness and greed. She never valued him when he had little, and now she cannot expect to enjoy his success. Pete leaves the house, walking away from the woman who ruined his life, almost got him killed, and never appreciated his love. In the final moment, the wife realizes she has lost everything: her husband, her lover, and the gold. She stands alone in shock as Pete begins a new life, free from her lies. The ending shows how betrayal destroys relationships, but self-respect and courage can rebuild a person's life. Pete rises stronger, wiser, and richer, while she is left with nothing but regret.